All right, hey everybody, this is Dr. Todd McDougall. I'm the Strongman Doc. We're here at Chiropractic and Wellness, and I just wanted to kind of share some things with you. I have this thing called a wobble board right here. The reason why we utilize the wobble board is because we want to try and make sure that we try and reconnect your brain and your body back together again after we do the adjustment. A lot of times people will go ahead and say, oh, well, I used that after I had a stroke. It's like, well, it's not just for stroke victims to go ahead and try and get your balance back. We're actually trying to get your head back where it belongs after you get your adjustments too. Part of that is we want to try and re-engage what's going on with your lower body and how it all connects, okay? We also want to try and also at the same time make sure that your SI joints are moving like they're supposed to, as well as your low back. So let me go ahead and show you this here, okay? So anyway, first thing, safety first, obviously. We want to try and do everything we can to go ahead and make sure that you're not going to fall down. So one of the things I do is I like to go ahead and put people, in the middle of a doorway. So we also want to make sure that you're balanced in through here, okay? So the goal is to try and make sure that now you're centered, okay? Now, if you're in this position here, that's not really what we want to try and do. We want to try and get you to have some kind of balance in your body, okay? Well, one of the first things I would like to do is lock your knees out. When you lock your knees out, that forces your ankles to move. It also is going to force your pelvis to move and your SI joints as well as your lumbar spine. So by locking my knees out, I'm already starting to engage from the foot all the way into the hips. And of course, that also goes right into the neck as well. If you got any spots in there that's a little dynamically goofed up, you're probably going to need an adjustment because you're going to feel that little booger in there being stuck, okay? So as you notice right in through here, I'm going side to side. Knees are locked, and my ankles, if there's any mobility issues in there, those ankles are going to probably be painful as well. So this is kind of a good check, I guess, if you will, to go ahead and see if there's anything not quite working the way it should be. Now, as I go in through here, you see my torso wobbling back and forth in through there. Now, what happens is that when my pelvis does this, all right, that's moving all kinds of musculatures and whatnot up and down in through the leg. But also at the same time, the sacrum in through here is also just slightly moving just a little bit here, okay? Well, what happens when when that movement occurs is that the vertebrae with that motion through coupling motion will actually start to rotate, okay? So you can kind of think of this as something that you're doing at home for mobility work in your lower back. If you got an issue with a disc or something along those lines, it may be a little problematic, but just kind of sense it and see what's going on. And if it's painful, obviously stop doing it and get to your chiropractor as quickly as you can. So basically, here we are, just side to side, and we're going all the way up and down in through here. And as time goes on, it gets easier and easier. So we do this for about 15 minutes every time. Now, if your ankles, once they get adjusted, you want to go ahead and try and keep those things limber, you can go ahead and do alphabets and draw alphabets with your big toe, okay? Or you can go ahead and tie this in with your 15 minutes of exercise. So what you can do is you can roll those ankles around in through here, all right? My knees are still locked. So you can see I've got pretty good ankle mobility in here for the most part, all righty? And you can also kind of imbibe the discs by going up and down like this as well. So a lot of things that you can do with the wobble board, and there's more things I'm sure that you can do that you can find on the Instagram or whatever. But this here's what we want to try and get our patients to do, to go ahead and make sure that they maximize their performance after they get their adjustments. So that's the wobble board. Hi, this is Dr. Todd McDougall back with a little bit more information. This is some of the home care things that we actually have our patients do. We do the wobble board, but also at the same time we want to try and maximize the body's ability to regain its balance and center by using a simple little thing like this exercise ball. Now listen, if you're 250 pounds or above, you might want to go ahead and get a no burst ball just to protect yourself, because these things will burst if you hit them in the wrong spot, okay? So let's go and bring this over here. And again, I'm going to use my trusty pillars here and doorway. And so, there. Did you notice what I just did? I sat right in the middle of the ball. That's the thing you don't want to do, because if you're sitting in the middle of the ball, you're going to be jamming your lower back, right? And if you've got, rods and screws, or you've got artificial parts, or your disc is degenerated, or you've got a terrible SI joint problem, when you go and you sit right in the middle of that ball, you're jamming right into the spine. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to have my butt right here, okay? Rather, I'd like to have the back of my legs there, okay? So I'm going to sit here. Now, obviously, I don't know if you noticed that or not, I'm sitting kind of way back on the ball. So go ahead and bring my feet out here just a little bit, all right? So I don't fall over, all right? So there it is. Now, it's always a good idea to go ahead and make sure that you're stable before you let go. You'd be amazed how many people I have that come in that their spine shifts either heavy right or heavy left. Well, if you go ahead and you sit on the ball, guess what happens? You fall off the ball. And so, I mean, you can wear a helmet, I suppose, if you want to, a safety first thing, right? But if not, go ahead and try and make sure you get yourself centered, at least until you go ahead and figure out whether or not you're going to fall or not, okay? So as I'm in this position here, I want to go ahead and start bouncing on the ball. Now, why am I bouncing? Well, there's this thing in the discs that's a fluid-based pocket, okay? And what we want to try and do is we want to create some pumping action in that pocket. When we do that, what happens is that changes and exchanges nutrients, okay? Blood supply and things along those lines. The disc is a ligament by definition, and ligaments for the most part really have pretty poor blood supply. So it can take anywhere from 6 to 12 months for a ligament to heal. The same thing could be said for your disc. However, if you try and get it on the front side, go ahead and do this bouncing or this imbibition motion, what ends up happening is that you actually potentially could circumvent some of those issues. So by doing this, we're pumping. We're also pumping a little cerebral spinal fluid in through there, trying to make sure it's going from your brain all the way up and down, nice and problem-free, if you will. But also at the same time, we're engaging the smaller muscles of the spine, no bigger than the size of shoestrings. And you may also feel your core area in through here start to engage a little bit more as well. If you want to make it a little bit more interesting, sit in front of a mirror. You sit in front of a mirror, make sure you try to keep your head up, try to keep your eyes level, and try and shift your body around to where it'll allow that to happen. Also take a look at, how high your shoulders are, and also at the same time where you are in the ball, making sure that you're centered on the ball, making sure your butt's not in the middle of the ball, okay? And as you do this, you're gonna start feeling muscles pull in areas that maybe you just didn't think could have pull, all right? Maybe a little uncomfortable. The other thing too is that this here goes not only into the lower back, it goes up into your neck as well. So our goal is to try and get your whole body working together as a unit again after we get the adjustments. So that's pretty much it as far as the exercise ball is concerned. If you have any questions or anything, just go ahead and leave a comment down below and we'll get right back to you. Otherwise, have a great day, and we'll see you at In Chiropractic and Wellness soon. Simon. I want to make sure the ankle's moving. It's not. You been running? You gave that up with high school. Oh, yeah. All right, so what I'm looking at, see that? It's called the tibial tuberosity. That's the center of your kneecap. Do you line up? No. So, what I'm going to do... It's going to hurt? Maybe. That's a long answer. Oh, sorry. You don't want me to lie? Yes. How was that? That didn't hurt at all. Now, I pulled that out. That was closer. Isn't that weird? First one. All right, next. Isn't that cool? All right. Isn't that something? Yeah. You're like, yeah, it's nice if it's somebody else. Okay. Yeah, well, it was worse. Look at that. It's better than that one. Responded better. Now move around. Feel like you got brand new knees? I feel lighter. Yeah, I call them Bambi legs. Those are Bambi knees. Ta-da!
Am I actually done now?
Yes, you are. You can leave now. P-I-E-X, there's a little click in there. Oh, this is great. All right, so P-I-E-X, all right. Oh, fuck, I'm into the here. You got an A-S out. All right, what is our listings again there, bud?
Doctor-endorsed Relaxo back comfort seat uses a unique patented design to relieve pressure from sensitive nerves, which helps to relieve pain from the back and neck. Relaxo Back provides almost instant relief.
I work at a desk all day. Relaxo Back's the best. No more pain.
I almost had to quit because of my aching back. Now, I can drive forever.
I was even considering surgery for my back pain. Then I got Relaxo Back, and now I can sit for hours without pain.
Painkillers and surgery aren't the only answer for low back pain. The Relaxo Back provides the support you need for proper posture and to relieve pain in the back and neck. Try it. I know it works.
Order your Relaxo Back now. Put it in any chair, in the office, use it at home, in your car, wherever you sit.
Try something natural for back pain relief. The Relaxo Back.